So, Pragmata. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, Arya here. I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Capcom for giving me a code for Pragmata. As those who've looked into my channel may know, I've been playing the demo a ton. Now that I've had time with the full game, I want to give my thoughts on it. So let's get into it. In Pragmata, you play as dual protagonists, Hugh and Diana. Hugh's a normal, everyday guy on a mission to the moon with his crew. Diana is a Pragmata, pretty much a young android girl who joins in minutes into the game. And pretty much from minute one, you're likely gonna get a pretty solid idea of the dynamic these two are gonna have, as they start to develop a father-daughter bond that is all sorts of adorable for so many reasons.
Hey, D.I.,
I am DI-03367, a state-of-the-art pragmatic...
hang on a second. Don't you have a name or something?
I said I am DI-0...
Okay. Look, how about we call you Diana?
Diana?
Yeah. From now on, you can be Diana. How's that fit?
Diana...
I'm Hugh. I don't do babysitting, but I'm gonna need your help, and,
Hugh. Diana.
Yeah.
Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana.
Diana?
Diana!
Both in and out of combat, Hugh and Diana have each other's backs, and it becomes clear as you go that they'll have to depend on each other to make it through when things pretty much immediately go off the rails. This shines through in the gameplay, thanks to Diana's ability to hack things. When enemies are around, the player can interface with the enemy's hacking matrix to open up their weak points and inflict various weaknesses while you do it. The thing that makes it super cool is that hacking takes place in real time. Even when you need to aim and shoot at a target, hacking is not only doable, but necessary, creating an interesting flow in combat that I can't say I've ever experienced in the shooters that I've played. You're always doing something during combat, and the way the game pushes the mental stack onto the player can be very addictive. Once you progress a bit, you gain access to the shelter, which will serve as your general hub. This is where you'll equip loadouts and interact with all sorts of things. One of the primary shelter functions lets you use REM nodules, Read Earth Memory, to create things for Diana, in order to give her a little taste of what it's like back on Earth. It can be endearing, watching Diana light up as she plays with and explores new things you give to her. She'll give back in return, too, presenting Hugh with various drawings she makes as the adventure gives her and Hugh more time to bond. That's not all the shelter lets you do, though. As you move forward, you will be able to apply points and currency to level up Hugh and Diana's skills, weapons, and stats, and you'll get plenty of them the deeper you get in. You'll also acquire different sorts of hacking nodes as well, letting you inflict different effects onto the various enemies you fight. In addition to those, you'll also obtain mods that'll allow you to add to your overall functionality, giving you different passives or strength, health, or defense buffs. Between those and the weapons you'll gather along the way, you very much can create your own builds to optimize combat to better fit your needs. You'll also gain access later to various training exercises, which can help players improve how they use different weapons or hacking nodes by tasking the player to clear them in specific ways. Doing so gets you currency, as well as coins that you can use to fill up various bingo boards, also accessible via the shelter. Filling bingo boards gets you more currency, more mods, and even actual unlockables like skins for Hugh and Diana, giving you even more incentive to try to do everything as you go. All of this is brought together really nicely through the game's top-notch presentation. From the UI work to the various environments that you'll encounter, Pragmata is a beautiful game from top to bottom. The futuristic environments give an interesting feeling as you're consistently reminded that a lot of what's around you isn't fully created by human hands. This causes later areas that look much more like replicated versions of places on Earth to have this uncanny visual vibe that borders on being creepy in some ways, but can definitely immerse you more in the world.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. Jesus.
Wow!
Would you look at that? looks a bit like New York.
New York? Is that a place on Earth?
Yeah, in America.
So many lights and signs. I can't decide what to look at first.
This is even further backed by the music, which is all really good. Whether it's adding an ambient vibe when it needs to, or hitting you with high energy beats during combat, or adding a sufficient amount of tension to a moment, it's really good stuff. For all the praise this game gets, and deserves, mind you, there are a couple of teensy things, though, that I feel I can criticize. Now, this doesn't mean that these things are wholly bad, since even these are designed with a specific thought process in mind. But not everybody will vibe with what they do either, so they're worth mentioning. For one thing, ammo during combat automatically replenishes for your primary weapon, while secondary weapons have limited ammo. Once those secondary weapons run out, you're meant to pick up more secondary weapons during combat. Not every weapon is created equally by any means, with some having to deal with strong recoil, others having lengthy downtimes between shots, and others still having to be charged in order to be at their most effective. While you can level these weapons to improve firing rate, ammo capacity, and more, it will take time to get some weapons to their best potential. The various hacking nodes are also limited in use, so you'll have to pick up more nodes if you run out as you go. And it does encourage you to use these carefully as you hack enemies, and decide whether or not you need to use a particular node right then and there. It all creates more little layers to the mental stack, but because players will inevitably gravitate towards specific weapons and nodes, not having what you want on hand, then finding something that you don't want on top of it, could be frustrating for some players. Another thing is that some of the training exercises can be pretty demanding as a whole, making some of your unlocks a bit tough to access further in, but that's nothing that some practice and repetition can't fix. Lastly, while you'll find various shortcuts later that'll take you back to the shelter, and you can go right back to them from the shelter, should you fall in combat, you'll get sent right back to the shelter, not back to where you went down. If you haven't found a shelter shortcut near that spot, this of course means that you'll have to cover that ground again. And enemies do respawn, so you'll have to deal with those threats again. All of these things, though, are very old school mechanics and design aspects, though, and your mileage may vary regarding on how you feel about these things overall. With all that said, Pragmata is legitimately an amazing game. I've been looking forward to it since it was announced way back, and I can say without a doubt that I'm absolutely in love with what the game offers. Capcom did an amazing job, adding another super solid entry to their game library. And this is an IP that I hope gets room to grow and evolve even more as time goes on. If I had to give it an overall score, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, easy. Fantastic game. Check out the free demo on Steam and PSN. Thanks again to Capcom for passing along the code. Hope you enjoyed the review, and hope you're enjoying Pragmata.
Teammates look out for each other. And we're a team, right?